Sometimes not suitable for people over the age of 18.
Yeah. All right. We're definitely live on YouTube, and we're starting up the Facebook pages here. Our one Facebook page has been a little, just has not been cooperating lately. The other one's working, but that's okay. Either way, YouTube is kind of our home catch here. Trying to migrate everyone over there. But see where it goes. Okay, so this video is starting. All right, we're going to go ahead. Having trouble streaming. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. Let's see what's going on with this one. All right, hit go live here. Okay. See what happens there, and we'll hit that one. All right, we are, looks like up and running and ready to go. So let me pull this guy across. And hello and welcome. Welcome on I guess a fairly stormy Thursday night for many of us. Unfortunately, we have this wicked hurricane working its way up the coast. Now, I'm landlocked Pennsylvania, so we've been getting some rain, but I see all these reports about what's going on. And I contacted one of the people on our page, Jim Conway, who lives in the Carolinas right along the coast. I said, "Hey, you guys doing okay? You know, everything all right?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're getting some great pictures of 12-foot waves and surfing coming in." I'm like, "Oh Jesus, truly someone who lives along the coast." So I'm hoping you guys are well, safe and staying dry. Obviously, I hear it's affecting other things that are happening on the island, but hopefully it's more of a nuisance and less of a problem for you guys. So no flooding or anything like that yet?
I don't think so. We had big rains last night, lots of wind. I did hear there's some surfers flying in to surf our waves. But
I also know that, and this will, the beaches are closed. So they do close the beaches on Martha's Vineyard. They are closed until one of them is closed until Sunday because of high surf, dangerous rip currents, and wind. So there's a big warning sign posted. I'll see if I can send you the notice. It's just kind of funny, ironic in terms of like the Jaws conversation. Yes, the beaches do get closed, not for sharks, but for high surf.
The irony of this situation, right?
Yeah.
So, you guys at home, thanks for tuning in and joining us tonight. We're doing a little Jaws 50th anniversary recap, and more fitting to have the guests on than what we have. We have Monica joining us from the Vineyard Gazette. We have Kathy joining us from the Martha's Vineyard Museum. We have Dan joining us, who kind of worked a little bit of coordination with them, and he's going to be not only kind of spending some time with us tonight, he's going to be our entertainment for the evening. So we're gonna kind of have him, I don't know, kind of take us away towards the end of the night. Really looking forward to that performance. So, Dan, you got to perform because I'm talking you up now. So you're gonna really have to come through with this. But I'm just saying.
You don't have to worry about it.
Thank you very much. We have a couple people chiming in to say hello. We got Robert saying hi, guys. Happy to be here. We've got another musician on. We got Music with Matthew. So hey, gang, he's joining us tonight. And we got Val Capone. Hello, Jaws family. And you might recognize him. That was when he happened to walk out of there with Richard's hat that evening. So he wears that thing proud. So yes, we have Crystal McGinn saying hello as well. Yeah. Matt is saying, I'm really bummed I had to be in Florida while Jaws Fest was going on. I love the Vineyard so much. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was very much a magical time. Really, still is a magical time. I mean, it is truly, and girls, from what you were telling me before, it is truly the summer of the shark. I mean, it is still going on. Am I right?
It sure is. Yep.
Unbelievable. I mean, you know, who'd have thought? I mean, Yeah, I arrived there. I think I arrived, Mike. I arrived a few days, I think, before you did. Correct?
Yes.
I
Yes,
got
came
there.
in the Wednesday before.
Yeah, yeah. I got there. I had about 4 or 5 days, and what I saw was typical early June Martha's Vineyard. Quiet. People are showing up. Things are opening up. You can kind of go anywhere. Honestly, you can find parking spots. You can walk right into a restaurant. Um, no problem whatsoever. In fact, that was when we did it. We did our first trip over to the museum because I kind of wanted to go through and catch everything before the crowd showed up. And on the 19th, starting on the 19th, things just exploded. The 19th, the 20th, I have never been up on the island in August, but my guess would be it looks something like what I saw in Edgartown on the 20th. Because, I mean, you couldn't go down sidewalks. I was beating people. They were driving their cars to Edgartown from Oak Bluffs. It stayed right up the street from me. I was on my bike. I was beating them every time. I mean, it was just unbelievable, the amount of people and the amount of traffic. But it was just a buzz in the air. It really was. It was just something that just
it was such a nice way to kick off the summer season. That weekend usually is pretty quiet for us. Maybe some weddings here and there, but it's still like it's the time when people are just arriving for the summer. And so the excitement and the buzz just really kicked off our summer so nicely.
Exceeded expectations, do you think?
Yes, it certainly did for us at the museum. We had anticipated that we would get a bump in admissions. It has exceeded our wildest dreams. We have had over 20,000 people come through since we opened the exhibition Memorial Day weekend, and that's just amazing.
wow.
Excellent.
20,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow. And the fact that it has just kept on going is just
July was even busier for us for the whole month. Now that weekend in June, that we had record days on those days at the museum, but the whole month of July exceeded our admission rates from June even.
Wow.
Man, oh man.
Well, you can still see it too. You see everyone visiting is wearing a Jaws shirt or hat. It's still here. It's kind of the 50th anniversary is technically past the day, but the Jaws excitement is still out there and going very strong.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty much paralleling what happened in '75 as far as the movie. I mean, it just hit the ground running. To sound cheesy at best, it was just like a big old rogue wave just working its way up and down the coastline and across the country and really internationally for that matter. It seems to be that it has just continued. I mean, I have people that come up to me who could care less or don't know much about Jaws and go, "Oh my gosh, I thought of you," like people I work with. "I thought of you all summer long. Every time it was on ABC and I saw it here and it was, everywhere." And so it's the relevancy is still there, even beyond people who, like us who are very big fans of it. So wow, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we have some visuals here to use. We do have one or two people, other people coming on here. We've got Victor joining us from Canada. Kathy, the museum was.
I remember Victor.
It's kind of hard to forget.
and Val said, "Hi, Kathy. Thanks for being so awesome."
Yeah, we have a wonderful picture of Val and Brian, our visitor services manager, together. Brian was thrilled.
Very nice. And Janie's saying, "Yep, I came in high speed on the 19th." Janie was staying over in Hyannis, and she buzzed over as we were getting ready for the show on the 19th. Well, awesome. So I have to say, and it's ironic that you posted these pictures because this is the question I was asking these guys before we came on. I'm like, are you getting any break? How are you surviving? Because I know summers just ramp up there regardless, but it sounds like this one was yet even more so. So this is a great picture
Yeah, and so Brian Heffler, our visitor services manager, slacked this out a couple weeks ago to our staff. He's got a great sense of humor, and of course, you probably all recognize on the right is the one of two props of Ben Gardner's heads that are in existence. That is the one that is lent to us by Greg Nicotero. The other one is owned by Steven Spielberg in his collection. And so, but yeah, Brian has a great sense of humor.
Incredible. Awesome stuff. All right. And yeah, and like you said, 20,000 plus museum visitors. Now, not to put you on the spot, but how much different would that be, say from last summer? Drastically different?
Yeah, drastically different. I think the numbers are something like we probably had about 5,000 visitors in the time period.
Wow.
We had 20,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah. So our hallways have been busy every day. People coming over a lot of people coming from the day over. Lots of still Jaws attire in our hallways, and love the kids like this. I just looked out my window one day and I saw that, and I had to snap a picture of that.
That's pretty cool. Write it down in the stonework. Yeah.
Well, we brought 65 of them in, so
that's right.
To be part of that 0.1% that we were able to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. 20,000 people. That's just amazing. It should continue, I would think, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, the exhibit closes on September 7th, so August has still continued to be busy. I'll be curious to see how our August numbers are. I think they might mirror maybe June. For some reason, I think July just felt really, really busy.
Well, we still see a lot of traffic on our Jaws stories on our website, and we've had a couple more too. There's been a documentary released. There's about to be another film, The Farmer and the Shark, which is
we premiered that at the museum last week,
right?
And sold out with that as well. I mean, we didn't have that many seats to offer up, but I think we had about 90 people here to make it a sold out event.
What is that movie?
What's the movie's about? King
Perry documentary. Yeah.
And how he was the model for Quint. I didn't get to see the premiere, but I want to catch it.
I know. I didn't even get to see it because we were sold out. I wanted to give.
They didn't let you in, even, Kathy?
No, we're gonna redo it September 19th. So I'm planning on catching it then.
And awesome. As Kathy, you point out too, there's so much press about all the events that we did at the Gazette and that the museum did. And just an overwhelming number of people coming and interviewing. And I'm still seeing articles. Someone just sent me a Wall Street Journal article, and the article was about how to visit Martha's Vineyard on the cheap, but the pictures were from Jaws Fest and Jaws. And actually, there's one of the reporters from WBUR in Boston, Andrea. She's on tonight. Hi, Andrea. She's listening. She wants to chat, but she can't figure out how to throw something in the chat. Maybe Nate, you can give a little direction on how to enter the chat for Andrea.
Sure.
But it's just been, that keeps the buzz going, I think, and it's probably results in more visitors coming because weeks later, there's another national story about the vineyard or about Jaws or mentions it and gets another group of people excited to come here and see it.
The press was incredible. I think for the month leading up to that weekend, the Jaws weekend in June, practically my full-time job became managing the press for the museum. We had the Today Show in here. We had Nightline. I had Bo Van Riper was talking to just about every radio and news person across the country, and even he was on a Canadian radio show. We saw press mentions all over the world for the museum. It was really incredible.
I saw European reporters. There was someone from NPR was there floating around. It was just, it was, I think I saw like the ABC out of Boston, I think was there. It was just everywhere you turned, you'd go up and down the street, and like things would just come out of nowhere. It was amazing. And to be honest with you, to that effect too, I was running into people that I didn't know if I would see or not, and they would just appear out of nowhere. Guy Masterson was like the shadow. You'd be walking down like Water Street or something, and I'd be walking, and I'd hear this. I know that voice anywhere. And I turn around, there's Guy Masterson like leaning up in the pole, and he was hanging. Yeah, it was just amazing. And we would run into like cast of this or someone from here. The one day, my wife and I we were going for a drive. We stopped out at Brickyard Bicycles. I went to stop in there and grab some stuff. And we pulled in. It was I believe it was the Scottish bread shop. Is that what it is, or sandwich shop?
Scottish bake shop, bakery,
bake shop,
bakehouse.
Oh, you bake.
What it is. Yeah. So we stopped in there to grab a sandwich on our way back. And as I'm walking through the parking lot, someone beeps a horn. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really think of maybe someone hit the horn accident. Beeps the horn 2 more times. I'm like, okay, am I irritating? So I turn around. It's Jeff Kramer. He's sitting in a car. He just walked out and getting a sandwich himself. He said, hey, okay, we were talking. So yeah, it's just, I mean, you would just run into pretty much anyone and everyone just heading around the island constantly. It was amazing. Yeah.
And we still see people coming in. Just even today, someone came into our Vineyard Gazette offices looking to buy our magazine, our 50th anniversary, Jaws commemorative magazine.
Yes.
And they're on the island, and they know they can come and pick one up there. You can also get them online at thevineyardgazette.com in the store. And I'm trying to get it up on Amazon too. So I'm hope to get this up shortly on Amazon. So there's just a wider view of people who might not know about the Vineyard Gazette, but be searching for a good Jaws commemorative magazine. And that's just been still in high demand. So, that's how I know there's still a lot of Jaws fans on the island.
And it'll continue next week when Jaws comes back to the theaters next week. So you're going to have another jump.
Yeah.
It's getting re-released next week. Yeah.
Exciting.
The 29th, I believe, correct?
Yeah. Next Friday.
So they've still been showing it, as you know, on the Vineyard. So it's and they had drive-ins, but I think for off-island people who haven't seen it in a while, it's a perfect example of it. Trying to get it, see something, go back and see it again. I also went and saw The Shark is Broken. The play was here.
Yeah, actually, we both went to opening night.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Great show. Really great.
Actually, I saw it twice because we got invited to the opening night. Had a really great after party as well at the Harbor View with
lots of like shark attack drinks.
So that was fun, but actors were really good too. On one hand, we didn't have Ian Shaw, but the actors were superb.
It was an excellent show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We a whole group of us, about 15 of us, went to watch Jaws in Edgartown. And every time I go, this is something that I do. We had a handful of people that had not seen it there. Had a young gentleman from England who's a filmmaker, just some friends from Canada, from all different places, New York. And so we all met, grabbed something to eat, and went in there. And lo and behold, we go in to watch it, and the cast from Shark is Broken was going in there, and they were shooting the promo, like a little commercial, going in and sitting in for Jaws. It was hilarious just sitting and watching them kind of act things out the way they did. And yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
You should have had them do like Rocky Horror. Should have had them in front of the screen acting out the movie while.
That would be fun. Wouldn't that be great?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the lines.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
We did have it at our drive-in here. Our drive-in is they put a big screen up at the YMCA, or like where the ice hockey rink is.
Yeah, you guys were doing that during COVID. I didn't know you were still doing that. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. They do movies all summer long, and so one night I think they did Jaws twice. We went in July. I think they were doing it one other time, maybe in August. But that was a lot of fun. We just loaded up our pickup truck with a bunch of people and hung out and watched Jaws.
Very nice.
Summer
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I mean to interrupt.
I said summer tradition.
Yeah, it is a good tradition.
I'm excited because next weekend, one of the theaters here are playing it in 3D, and I'm going to be there all weekend and doing Q&As and memorabilia display. But on Sunday, I'm taking my grandkids to see it. They've never seen it on the big screen, so that's
nice.
going to be kind of fun.
You know, in another Jaws book just dropped, Matt Taylor's updated book has been released. I wish I'd brought it. I don't know if you have I have a copy, and I did not bring it with me. It's a beautiful new cover with a lot of new photos and a lot of different stories. Do you have it there, Michael?
No, I was just speaking of books. Don't forget to buy Fanatic.
Oh yes, and of course Michael's book.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt last week about it. We're going to try to have him on the show.
Yeah. It looks fantastic.
Good.
Also, Andrea, my friend who's the reporter, she's an NPR reporter from Boston. She just texted me because she was trying to get on the chat, but she wanted to say that they have a it's called Jaws Island, a podcast, and it drops next Thursday, and it's 3 episodes. It's a 3-episode podcast, really highlighting all the connections between the island and Jaws. She spent a lot of time here. And in fact, she says, I'm on it. Nate, you're in it. And Michael, you're in it.
Oh,
I talked to her quite a bit. The day of the reunion.
That's much watched TV. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Andrew, if you're at home, I apologize. If you're having trouble chatting over on YouTube, I believe you have to have, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you have to have like a Google account. If you get in there, go into YouTube, as long as you're a member on there, you should be able to get into that live chat. Not send one of us a message. I could be glad to convey or read across what your comments are. That would be great. But yes. In fact, we were just having a conversation about that. I was trying to maybe track down some of that because I know she was doing an awful lot of work. I mean, for I don't know, she was there for a handful of days.
Well, yeah, she just texted me that she does have, quote, 1 million other people besides the 3 of us. So we shouldn't get too excited, I guess. Dominate the podcast.
That's what I said. I talked to her for probably about a half hour, 40 minutes. So I'll be lucky if there's a word in there.
I did too. She left with a lot of work to do. She said she's still working on it, but they're going to release it next Thursday.
Okay. Andrea, we'd love to have you on the show. We actually, the other day, we just tracked you down on Facebook. So reach out to you to be on the show. But definitely next Thursday, we'd love to have you.
I'll connect you with her if she doesn't. I'll connect you with her. I used to work at the same station.
Here's my email address. Yeah.
Oh, she does. Okay, good.
Sure. Good. Yeah, and she's a member on one of our pages, so she could easily reach out to us through messages.
Oh, good.
Well, we'd love to have her on. That would be excellent. So
yeah, she came out. She spent a full day with us back in, I think it was early May, just as we were starting to get a lot of the exhibition shipments in. And so she came as we were doing some of the unveiling of some of those shipments, and then Bo took her out on a Jaws tour around the island. We went out to Menemsha. She met with Wayne Iacona, who has lended us the Yellow Barrel. He's a Menemsha fisherman, and she talked to him for probably 30 or 40 minutes. So that was some of her first podcasts were done back then.
Wow.
That's great.
Dan, I'm sorry, buddy. I wanted to ask you, I know you were involved in some of the events as well. What events were you able to go to or to be a part of?
Mainly the Jaws Fest at the museum there. The
reunion you were at, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I played third, I think. So that was the event that I got to go to, and it was a good time. It was.
Yeah, he was one of our great musical acts. It was fun to put together a lineup for Jaws fans. The reunion, the Jaws Festival, was 5 hours long, and more than 500 people came. So we were trying to get a lineup that would be interesting all day. And we started out with Michael Hayden, who is the guitarist at the Bonfire, which I know he also played at the museum. But he was great. He just told some stories and kicked it off. And then we had Mark Lovewell and his partner, Molly Connolly, they played sea shanties. And I hadn't realized this, but Molly was an extra in the film. So she really entertained the crowd about what she did. And she had a lot of stories. So they wove in a lot of stories with their music. Then we had our really well-known trivia guy on the island, Johnny Showtime, doing Jaws trivia. And the winner won tickets to Seth Meyers in New York. Thank you to our sponsor. Comcast NBC Universal was a big sponsor of the Reunion Jaws Fest. And as you know, I mean, they own the Jaws franchise, and they were so excited to be part of a festival that invited everyone to come and enjoy themselves. And they gave us these tickets to give away for the winner of the trivia. And then we wrapped it all up with Dan London, who played a variety of really a lot of tunes from 1970s. You know, it was like I was singing along, and then some sea shanties and some Spanish ladies, of course, and ending up with a song he's going to play for us tonight. But then I don't know if you guys remember, Nate and Michael, that I also did some singing on the hour.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
No, I did. At least if I heard you singing, I didn't. I didn't see that you were the one up there singing.
Singing is, you know,
Everybody
every hour on the hour, I led the rendition of "I'm tired and I want to go to bed."
That's awesome.
Show me the way to go home. So I was like screaming into the mic until everybody would got in, and they would join. They joined in, right? I mean, people actually sang along. I was like, "This is a sing along, everyone! Show me the way to go." Oh, by the end of the afternoon, I think I petered out a little bit, and so did the crowd. So thank God Dan took over and did a lot better.
Sure.
But it was really fun to kind of chime in every hour and talk about who was at our autograph table, or that we had food available over here. Just what's going on at the festival, and do a little sing along. So it was fun.
Well, we do have a couple of comments in here. We got James saying good evening, and Janie saying hello all. Happy Friday. Val saying, what a great magazine, Monica. Kudos. And it truly was. And the fact that you guys gave them out to the people as part of going into the reunion, I just thought was not only a great gesture, but it was perfect. You know, it had the autograph pages in. You could walk around, you know, get people's autographs, you know, whether it be people from the movie, whether it be production, whether it just happened to be friends that you might have known from the pages. I mean, it truly was a memoir event, and that was the memoir of the show then. That was kind of the vehicle that would travel around, and you could bring that home and go, oh man, I remember I talked to this person, I saw this person. It's just a great idea. It really was.
Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it, because we put a lot of effort into making the magazine. And then when we did it, I thought, how do we make sure that the Jaws fans who want it can use it in a way that interacts with Islanders who are in the movie? So I put a lot of effort into finding local people who are in the movie who weren't necessarily the Jeff Kramers of the movie, but were the extras who had a line or two, or had some other part in the movie. So it was fun to line up this group of actors and extras to sign autographs. We had one panel was Carol Fligger and her 2 children. All of her children, 4 children, were in the movie, and she became like the childminder of the movie. And she would, and so she came with 2 of her kids, and she just was delighted to be there. And the other one I really liked was Jonathan Searle and Stephen Searle. Jonathan Searle's pretty well known. Like, he was a kid, the fake fin, right? And his brother made him do it. So they were brothers. They're truly brothers. And his brother lives in Virginia and doesn't come often, isn't sort of the attraction that Jonathan Searle is, because Jonathan Searle is the police chief of Oak Bluffs. So he's constantly getting recognized by Jaws fans, and they're seeking him out. But his brother, Stephen, doesn't really get that because he's in Virginia. But he flew up for the weekend and sat at the table with his brother. And then another guy called us and said, I want to join. Greg Doyle. He was the guy who spotted the fake shark. And he said, shark. Yeah. And I'm going to mess up the number. Some number, like some police.
350.
Thank you.
350.
350. That was Greg Doyle. So for the first time since they filmed that scene 50 years ago, the 3 of them were together signing autographs. And I loved seeing that, and seeing the line of people waiting with their magazines to get them to sign their magazines. That made it very special for me.
Well, everybody there, I mean, the people that are doing autographs, myself included, had the best time. And then I spent a weekend with Stephen and Jonathan down in Florida, and they were just amazed. also Carla Hogendijk.
Yes.
Amazed at a number of people that came down there to see them. And Jonathan Searle has the biggest hands I have ever seen in a human being. Oh my goodness. I shook his hand and it was like he dwarfed it. It was like I was a baby. But both brothers are super nice, and I'm glad they're enjoying the celebrity that they have that they've earned. Because for years Jeff Voorhees, he'd talk to you, but he didn't really embrace it. And in the last 5 years or so, Jeff has really embraced the fans, and the fans have embraced him. So I always like when something like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and John and his brother, when they were at the wharf, I guess they had to charge for their autographs, and so they decided to give their autograph money to a local charity, to our Jabberwocky camp.
Oh, wow.
That's so nice.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
Very nice.
You know, we also invited a lot of Islanders whose names I wish I'd brought a list, but we made them little signs like this to wear. Do you remember seeing that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so they'd sign in, and they got in free to the event. I mean, the event was low ticket price, $35 or something, but they got in, them and a friend, and they would wear it, and people would say, "Oh, what did you do?" I talked to so many Islanders who was like, "This was so much fun," because they're not recognized. They didn't have lines in the movie, but it was pivotal in their childhood experience or their teenage experience, and they wanted to share it. So this kind of gave them the doorway to talk about their experiences.
Well, and truthfully, you know, the townspeople, you know, Spielberg came in and just hired extras, hired people that lived on the island. Yeah. That became a character of the movie itself, and it was the town or the island of the Indian. So every one of those had a part in that. He wanted that you know, home, that island feel, that small community feel, and that's. I mean, they were obviously an integral part in that, and you know. Monica, you had come up to me, I think it was like middle of the afternoon, and you said, "Okay, tell me what you think. What did you think?"
Yeah.
Because you'll be straight with me. And I said, "I'll be honest with you. This is the way these type of events should go." I mean, truly. I mean, as much as I love the Jaws realm in the world, and I'll go, you know, maybe do a con here and there. Not my most favorite thing in the world. Some parts of it, some things about it I really like. Other things, it's like you're pretty much constantly getting in line to get up to maybe see someone or pay to do this, or maybe get a picture with someone. The event that you guys planned and executed, and how it went off, in my mind, is how events like that should take place. We were all in one general area as one. There was no division. There was no getting behind a table. There was no standing behind the lines. And that to me just made it such a personal thing, so much more than like, you know, I was paying to get into an arena somewhere for a concert or something like that. I truly felt there was a much larger connection going on there. I mean, we're all sitting around. I'm over there, and I'm sitting and talking to Mike, and right next to us is Joe, you know, and Jeff for a while, and you know, the Searle brothers were there. And then a bunch of friends from the page, like Jamie and Marty and some other guys are there. And next thing you know, a couple of people just wander over. Tom comes over and sits down and talks to us for like an hour. You just walk around and, oh, hey, there's Greg Nicotero going by the Narragansett booth, and there's someone else going back by some of the like the shark tooth jewelry. And I can't say enough how impressed I was with how that was run and how smooth it was run. I mean, it truly was. So credit to you guys for your hard work.
Thank you.
I really.
Kathy and I were a solid team.
We were.
We really. I mean, we couldn't have done it without the museum and just the beautiful setting and location, but also the coordination. Because what was really great was you could buy the ticket and buy a discounted ticket to enter the museum, and so there was a nice flow of the. You could be there for 5 hours with plenty to do. And there were talks. And even if you couldn't get into the talk in the museum, you could probably catch that person outside. You know, it was a really wonderful collaboration. I'm glad you did so much. I hope others did.
We couldn't have done it by ourselves either. Just, you know, the logistics of planning the event. And I still remember when Monica and I went and we were hashing out the final agreement of how we would make this all work. We were out at Rockfish in Edgartown, and it really was a great collaboration.
Yeah. What I wonder, and I'd be curious to hear from your fans and the listeners, is like, should we do something again? Not of this scale. Okay, Kathy, don't get too nervous. But I just feel like the Jaws fervor is a year-round or a yearly thing. And the museum is always going to have some sort of collection about Jaws, something about Jaws. We have now a magazine and a lot of articles and a lot of history that could be used. Is there something that people would want to do yearly on the Vineyard about Jaws?
Oh, certainly.
Certainly. I would imagine so. Yeah.
You can always, might not as large scale as you did, but this was very reminiscent to me of the 2005 Jaws Fest, which was very intimate, and you had access to everybody, and you saw a lot of friends. And the one thing when I was speaking to Andrea about it, the best thing about these events are the people and the friendships that you've made. I was lucky. I met Nate. I've known Nate for years, but I've only met him once, and that was down in Florida 2 years ago. So for him and Jamie up in Canada and Val Capone and Mark Fitzgibbons from over in England, all these people that I've known for years, to finally be in the same room with them is what makes it very special. And I think every year, if you just had a weekend you put aside, you would definitely draw people.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, it's, you've seen a bit of this group of people and how crazy they are about this, but how dedicated they are. And what I've been saying all summer long is Jaws has become the vehicle that brings us all together. And it's kind of, we used to call it like the Jaws Army, like for years. I know, Mike, when you and Jay would do the show, it was, the Jaws Army would float around, and honestly, it has become the Jaws family. I mean, we're a very close knit bunch of people. I mean, we talk constantly outside of the pages and things of that nature. And many of us go back to the island. I mean, I try and get there like every other year. Sometimes I've been there every year, sometimes longer, but it really is. It's become such a tight, close network, and people that constantly going back. And what I love, in fact, a couple of people that are on hanging out with us tonight, like Val, I know is a new convert. He was there for the first time. He's never been to the island before. And I talked to at least a dozen people that said this and said, "I'm going back next year." Mm-hmm. Not just because of Jaws. I'm going back to the island. I love being there, and so that's, to me, I'm just like, that's great, because I have the same love for both things, for both the island as an entity and both the world of Jaws as an entity. Even though there is a crossover there, they do kind of have their own realm as well.
Oh, so, certainly. Yeah. I mean, Jaws is a bonus to me, but I have my wife, I have my son and his family, and they went and did a million non-Jaws things, and they'd been there a few times before, but yeah, most definitely, people, just like Field of Dreams, people will come.
Yeah, and like Mike always says, he always says, you can be a Star Wars fan and you can't go to Tatooine. You can be a Star Trek fan, you can't go on the Enterprise, but you can be a Jaws fan. You can go to Amity.
You can go to Amity.
It's there. It's still there, and that magic is still there, which is really cool. Yeah, very much.
And it seems like, oh yeah, sorry, go on.
I apologize.
Well, I was just thinking about how, how much is tied to the fact that the island doesn't change much, that Martha's Vineyard really prides itself on tradition and the island ways and keeping it the way it looked 50 years ago. And living here, there's a lot of strife around that. There's a lot of back and forth around developments and housing crisis. It's very expensive to live here. Not everyone can afford housing. And then somebody proposes a development and nobody wants a 3-story building in Oak Bluffs, or they don't want density in housing because they want to keep the island as it is. And it's both charming and interesting as a just social experiment of an island that's grown so popular because of movies like Jaws, and yet it's bursting at the seams and trying to stay the way it is, and that's what makes it so popular.
Well, that's what makes it what it is, though. If you had a Walmart there or a McDonald's, it would lose its luster.
Yeah,
it would just be another place to go. So
Sure, it would be another. I want to use the term tourist trap, but another, grand scale beach, with the, whatever the typical, what you see in a nightlife in the typical hotels. You go there, and to be honest with you, one of the reasons I go there is because I'm removed from all of that. I'm not. There's no McDonald's drive-throughs, and there's not, Holiday Inns next to one another. And I mean, that truly, to me, it's almost like going back in time. It truly is. I don't know if that comes across right, or gets lost in translation. Me not being from there, but it truly does take. It's like going back in time, like 100 years. Or get to the grocery store because it closes at whatever 5, 6 o'clock, and and that to me is just so refreshing. It really is. So blown away by that always. That's, like I said, Jaws is what took me to the island. Martha's Vineyard is what brings me back every summer. Not just my entire family, my son, my wife, myself. Yeah, and we will continue. Absolutely. Yeah. We do have a couple. I'm sorry, we do have a couple of comments here. Kind of let them go by the wayside a little bit here pertaining to our conversation. So it'd be remiss not to bring them up. So Matt's saying so many wonderful spots on Martha Vineyard. Love the wharf. Love all the awesome breakfast spots. So much fun, and the people there are awesome. I'm getting giddy. Forgive me. So, and Val is saying yes. Every year, please. I'm coming back next year. Yes. Yeah.
There you go. Valfest. There it is.
Yeah.
Valfest. He's got to wear the hat though. He's got to wear Richard's hat. And we've got Jane saying, yes, it's my second family, and I love the island. It is my happy spot. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. A magical, beautiful place. Yeah. Beautiful beyond the Jaws connection. Yeah. 110% agree with that. Well, I'm sorry, we kind of got a little bit off track here, but I have a quick question. So everyone was going gaga and going nuts over getting their picture taken with the bust of Bruce at the museum. Does he still have all his teeth?
Believe it or not, he does. He hasn't
really?
lost any. The Arcana workshop that out of Vermont manufactured it, and they did a really solid job. I don't know if you have the video that shows the making of Bruce, but it's pretty cool. The behind the scenes look at it. They so the replica that we have was based off of the one that was done for Jaws Fest in 2005.
Great.
That one is actually owned by the museum, but it's over in Chatham. And so we decided we really needed one here. And so Arcana went to great lengths they studied books. They went to see the one in Chatham, looked at as many historical images and drawings and things to try to make it as realistic as possible. And they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they really did. Let me pull that video up. There's a quick little video of them going through the steps to make that here for us. So let me pull that up and play that for us here. Here we go.
That is awesome. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so fun how they put that together. And funny thing was, so when they were delivering it to the museum, they got their truck broke down in Woods Hole, so they had to have the truck towed to like New Bedford to get it fixed, and had to come the whole next day. We actually had a couple reporters. I think one was from the Vineyard Gazette, lined up to come see the delivery of Bruce, and then the shark is broken, the truck is broken, and it's stuck over in Woods Hole.
The irony was just
rich. I was going to say, I talked to Michael Sterling when he had brought the orca replica in, and he was telling me the devastating story he went through to get it to the island. And I said, well, how'd you figure it was going to be a smooth trip? I mean, you know what happened with the making of the movie. None of this was going to be easy, you know. So it's very reflective, kind of parallels what happened 50 years ago. So yeah.
We've had a lot of those that we've just drawn the parallel. The shark is broken.
Yeah, that display at the museum was so popular. There wasn't any time I went into the museum that I didn't see people lining up, kids and these are some great photos of it. Just adults, children, they're making jokes, they're doing videos, they're sticking their heads in. It's just, is that going to stay there, Kathy? Will you keep it there, or will you keep it there
so
in the museum?
The shark is going to stay around. That is now part of our permanent collection.
Oh, wow.
Our large exhibit on the second floor will be coming down on September 7th, sadly. But our curators are thinking through a way to at least have a Jaws room, and they've had a couple people come forward with some new items. So I think at least this fall we will have a Jaws room with some things. We will still have the shark. We will still have the Amity sign. The Amity sign will probably stay up through the rest of the year. Bruce is going to stay in the pavilion for the rest of the year, and at some point he'll move out to our barn and still be available to come get your picture.
What about the Richard Dreyfuss dog?
Sorry, Dan?
I was asking about the Richard Dreyfuss dog.
Yeah.
So this was one of the emails that we got. We've loved all the emails of people sending us saying how much they love the exhibit, sending us their pictures, all the social media posts. But I loved this one with the Hooper doll in all different places.
Yeah, there was quite a few. I'm sorry, I'm trying to kind of catch back up with some of our slides as to some of the things. There you go. Some of the others.
This was our opening night, Memorial Day, the Friday before Memorial Day. You see up in the top left there, that's Jim Beller and John Campiano, if I got that right. And Kathy Weiss. Kathy is in that picture that it went worldwide. She's holding it there. She was in the beach scene. Wendy Benchley down in the right-hand corner there. She gave a talk at our opening night. She's also going to be back at the museum this coming Friday night. We're actually doing a screening of the Jaws at 50 definitive, the one that's about Steven Spielberg's making of Jaws. That's going to be it this coming Friday night. And of course, then Jeffrey Voorhees with his raft was there as well. So that was fun.
Awesome stuff. Nice that they made a raft for him there too. Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple. Yes. So ironically, you answered a couple of questions. So Val was asking, any chance of a permanent Jaws exhibit? So there you go. It sounds like there's definitely going to be some permanent Jaws things there. Yeah.
The shark will be. It's it's tough because we have to service a year-round population that likes to see changing exhibits, and but we will continue to try to have certain Jaws elements from time to time for sure. We do have Joe Alves storyboards are always in our permanent exhibit as well.
I was going to say I've seen those there every time I've been through since the new museum has opened. I've always seen usually down that one hallway where like a lot of the old fishing relics are hanging from the ceiling and things of that nature. I've always seen his storyboards there. Yeah.
Well, I wish I could say we're going to have, a yearly Amity Gazette, but I don't think so. But it was certainly fun to put together. We put together a special section in the Vineyard Gazette called the Amity Gazette that highlighted a lot of Islander stories. And honestly, I think one of the most fun things about it, and also a fun thing about the magazine, are the advertisements, because our local businesses really stepped up and got into the Jaws theme, and they just did the most creative things in their ads. And some of them pulled out archival photos we'd never seen, or just did a lot of different interesting things with their ads. We still sell the Amity Gazette online. If you want to buy it and have us mail it to you, it's kind of ironic because it only costs $1, but it's going to cost like $7 to mail you 5.
Now, somebody had asked earlier, Monica, is that so? Can you still buy the Jaws edition one that you did for the Gazette, the magazine,
yes,
or not the magazine, but
not the magazine, the newspaper? And I didn't bring it, unfortunately. But yep, the broadsheet newspaper is still available. It's still only $1, but I think we require that you buy 5, and then it probably costs $5 or $6 to mail it. But it's still a deal because it's a true keepsake. It's a really fantastic looking insert.
It really is. I'm going to have to look you up on that. I'm sure I could find 4 friends to give one of those.
I was going to say same thing. I never got one. Yeah.
Oh man,
I did not.
All at the vineyardgazette.com in our store.
You guys at home hear that, right? You can still get the Jaws insert, vineyardgazette.com. Hop on the website. Yeah. Absolutely. You can still order that.
Anybody that came to one of our Jaws programs got our Jaws at 50, a deeper drive. Did you all get that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. That came with yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That was done in-house by Crystal Parrott, our store manager, and Bo Van Riper did the writing of all of basically it's a self-guided driving tour. I gave it to one of my Jaws family members that came, and we went and I did the whole tour, and we were looking at each stop and reading each one, and it's a great way to get a self-guided tour.
It really is, especially
Crystal was selling them Sunday, I think, at the museum, because I bought a couple that she autographed.
Yeah. We do have them for sale in our store as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I had talked to her. I didn't realize that she was the one that was doing it. I just came in to go in and get tickets, and we started talking, and she was telling me about it. Yeah.
So she also did. Actually, I'm wearing our barrel apparel. Do you remember? So.
So I have the T-shirt, and I was going to wear it tonight, but I thought, well, you're not going to see it because my back's not facing you, but. I love it, and I'll tell you what I love, because we all have a million versions of the poster art of Jaws, which is iconic. Right. It's something I'll never get old, but I like the fact that it's understated. It doesn't have the big Jaws out of your face. It's just the yellow barrel. Now, there is on the T-shirt, it's on the sleeve. You have the actual Jaws on the sleeve, but it's understated. It's one of those. It's one of those things. It's like you have to know what it is in order.
Exactly. To, that's exactly. I was just wearing mine in the hallway, and this woman's like, how she loved it, because if you know, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
So Crystal also did the barrel, did the whole design of it. And it actually even got a mention in Women's Wear Daily. Was one of our press mentions of our barrel apparel.
That's fantastic.
Oh, no kidding. Oh my gosh. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I am lagging behind here with the pictures. I have that. Let me pull that up there. There it is.
Yeah. So there's the mention in Women's Wear Daily.
Yeah. And on top of what I usually see when I go there, everyone that was there, you had their books up on the shelf. I mean, everything was readily available at the museum when I was there. It was, a lot of great stuff going on there. So, what else is coming up in store for you guys? So, I know Wendy Bench is going to be there tomorrow, correct?
Yep.
And I didn't know if it'll be interesting to see if, with the movie coming back out next week, if you're going to see like another surge. say between now and say like into like September.
Hmm.
It'd be really
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I think I'm guessing there will be a surge just for people rushing in who've been thinking I have all summer to see the exhibit, and now I can't believe it. We only have like 2 weeks left. So I think we'll get a surge that way. We did have Michael Hayden doing. Laurel did a program called Around the Campfire, and Michael was here and playing his guitar, and Wayne Iacona, the fisherman, who he was part of the production crew. He was a helicopter pilot as part of it and worked out on the boats. And he's the one that had the yellow barrel that's in our and lent us for the exhibit. So he told stories, and it was just a really nice, local storytelling event. So we did that. We have another summer picnic coming up, the last day of the Jaws exhibit, kind of a chance to come in and see the exhibit one last time. But yeah, that was kind of the Around the Campfire.
Yeah, I know I'll keep the Jaws love going in my podcast. On the Gazette, we have a podcast called On the Vineyard, and that I write and produce. And I had a lot of Jaws in the podcast leading up to it, but I always add more Jaws whenever because I'm now an addict and a true fan, I admit. So I'll see the farmer and the shark and talk about it, and just keep it going. So you can always tune into On the Vineyard. Also, it's just a great love letter to the vineyard every week. Talks about everything from our weather to the agricultural fair to the latest news on the island. It's only 10 minutes every week, and it's mostly reflections. And we use amazing archival audio from the museum in a really fun partnership. So we work to just weave in all these voices. And as I said, I'm always trying to put in Jaws because I love it.
No one here is going to argue with you about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. We get a couple more people, just a couple more comments here. Again, Victor saying, incredible job. Val said he wants to buy 20 copies of the newspaper insert. So, and he wants you to thank you for securing a vegan meal for his wife during the reunion. So just small example of the extra mile that you guys went to make sure that things went as well as what they did. So, yeah.
Well, I'd say, another thing going the extra mile is Dan London here, who wrote a song for us. Is when I invited him to play and to close out the Jaws Fest, he said, well, like, what do I play? What's the Jaws songs? I said, well, do some 70s tunes. You got to do the shanty, the Spanish ladies. And then because he goes the extra mile, he wrote a song. And when he played it for me the first time, I just immediately couldn't get it out of my head. It was a total earwig because it uses the most famous line from the movie. And I just love it. So sorry, I'm kind of co-opting going to Dan because I want to hear his song.
No, that's perfectly fine. We are kind of rounding out on the hour here, which is, generally it's what we try and stick to. And we said, a great way to kind of wrap things up here this evening would be just with Dan. And Dan, appreciate you kind of waiting patiently as a captive audience member here with us. So, Dan, we're all ready if you are, my friend.
All right.
In fact, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to bring you up solo here for us. All right. If you're okay with that, if you're not, I'll leave the screen the way that is.
Good.
You tell me.
No, it's good.
All right, here we go.
I saw this film the other night. It starred a great white shark. Sorry, did you? Okay, let me start again. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
I thought I heard.
I think there's some feedback. I'm going to mute my mic.
Okay. Should I?
No, I'll do this.
Okay. Saw this film the other night. It starred a great white shark. He terrorized this island town in the daylight and the dark. Well, the police chief took it personally as he tallied up his dead. And when he laid eyes on his enemy, you know this is what it said. You're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. If you want to stay afloat, you're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. 'Cause in the end, that's all she wrote. You're gonna need a bigger boat. With the mayor, he was skeptical about the great white's reach. He grew quite hysterical when the chief said close the beach. So I hired him a hunter man to keep the beast at bay. And if sharks could talk, that one would laugh, and you know just what it'd say. You're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. If you want to stay afloat, you're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. 'Cause in the end, that's all she wrote. You're gonna need a bigger boat. With a hunter, he got eaten beneath the blazing sun. But that shark was finally beaten by an air tank and a gun. And the moral of this story is the through line to this punch is you best take heed of these 6 words, lest you end up someone's lunch. You're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. If you want to stay afloat, you're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. 'Cause in the end, that's all she wrote. You're gonna need a bigger, well, go figure, gonna need a bigger boat.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Well done. There's our theme song, Nate. We needed a theme song.
We do. We're looking to kick some things over to StreamYard or not to StreamYard. I'm sorry. To Spotify, just on the audio side, it had some attention. Want to know if we'd be willing to do that, and we need a theme song. So Dan, maybe we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have said Dan London in the display name.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that that's actually the name that's gonna. So that is my full name. I'm not just Dan like Cher, but
yeah, it was really fun. You see why it sticks in your head. It was great. Thank you.
Very catchy.
Got to catch it. Yeah.
You could do an album between that and Judy's Deputy Hendrix song. Yeah.
I was going to say we're going to have like a compilation thing going on here shortly. Yeah, and then
12 days of 12 days of Jawsmas.
Yeah. John, a friend from Scotland, wrote a song a handful of years ago. Yeah, I mean, man, look, we're up to 3 already here. I mean, yeah.
Oh, and his video too his recap video was really amazing, and he wrote a really nice letter to us as well.
Was he the one that played? Like somebody borrowed my guitar that day to play a song that he wrote. I wonder if that was him.
Big guy, bald beard.
Yeah.
Probably was him. That was probably him. Yes. Yeah. His video, I tell you what, I mean, first of all, the guy has a lot of heart. his video, honestly, you know, I don't want to speak for other people, but is like everyone's anthem for the experience that was there. I mean, really, I mean, he just amazing job and the connection he made. I was so blown away by that.
Yeah. Yeah, we all were too.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're kind of slowly kind of running out of time here, but I I want to pull up the little visual that you sent me here to kind of wrap things up. Is this Jaws at 50? Wouldn't it have to be easier to take the ferry? Getting reservations in July is impossible.
That's the truth.
It is just one of those things that you have to know, and I'm sure this summer probably more so than other summers. One of the first things I tell people is, wait, get a ferry ticket before you do anything else. That's right, before you even book a room.
I booked mine in March. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely a lot of truth in that. And yeah. Hey, first time I went, I stayed at the Pequot, and the wonderful lady that we stayed with her like 3 times, I think, separate times. I called her. It was like the end of February, and she said, "Do you have a ticket for the ferry yet?" Because we were bringing my truck over, and I said, "No." She said, "You need to get off the phone with me right now and get a ferry ticket, and then call me back and book a room." And she's pretty spot on. I mean, it is. You know, every time we go, I'm one of the 300 people in queue sitting there with my credit card at 5 o'clock in the morning with my laptop open on Steamship Authority, waiting in line to get my ticket to come on over. So yeah. But you know, it's some of the fun of the experience. How many places you go, you got to take the boat to get there. You know,
Sure.
So pretty cool. So awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on tonight and joining us once again. All of you. Dan, I want to thank you. It was wonderful.
Thanks for having
Kathy, Monica, and not just for coming on again tonight, for you know, having the relationship that we do with you guys, and to be honest with you, for all the hard work and for the experiences that you made for all of us. I hope you got a chance to see the fruits of your labor, because I can only imagine the amount of time you were putting in, not before the event, during the event, not even, you know, again, not even including going up to it, but I hope you're able to stand back at some point and say, wow, look at what we did. This turned out well.
Yeah, we did it. Job well done.
Thank you. Very nice. Well, this has been fun to recap it and talk about it, and I really appreciate all the, you know, the comments you've made and others to make us feel like, yeah, that was a good event. It was appreciated. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Everybody at the museum has really appreciated all of the social media posts and the emails that we've received, and all the photos. It's really appreciated.
Good.
All right. Nice to see you all again.
It was.
I definitely hope. Yes,
we'll do it again next year.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys, please let us know if, you know, this is something that you're thinking about doing or it's in the works. Absolutely, let me know. We would be glad to push things out to the page and kind of keep this going. Have this,
and anything we can do to help. We're
absolutely
here. You know, we're here. So.
Thanks.
Yes.
Great.
So, you guys at home, thank you for joining us tonight. And if I can just simply end the night, I think I have the perfect picture to end the night on, and that is thank you.
Thank
really.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So sweet. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Nice.
Have a wonderful night, everybody. Fins up.
Fins up.
That's a little tradition. Fins up. Everyone at home, thank you. Have yourselves a wonderful, and hope to hear from you guys soon. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.